Welcome back to Read With Me. Today we'll be reading Shark Lady. It's a story about Eugene Clark. And if you don't know who Eugene Clark is, we're going to learn about her. And this book was written by Jess, Keating, illustrated by Martha Avila and Mrs. Seconds. If you didn't know, this actually was one of the Blue Spruce Awards, maybe 2 years back, who knows? And if you have a copy like this, go get it so you can read along with me. Shark Lady, the true story of how Eugene Clark became the ocean's most fearless scientist. It was Saturday. Eugene wanted to stay at the aquarium forever. She wanted to smell the damp, salty air and stare at the glittery rainbow of fish. She wanted to keep her eye on the favorite animal, the shark. And you can see there's a shark's fin there. Eugene pretended she was walking on the bottom of the sea. What would it be like to swim with her sharks, to breathe underwater with gills of her own? More than anything, she wanted to find out. You can see her mother laughing there. When the summer came, Eugene's mother took her to swim at the beach in Atlantic City, stuffing sticky gum into her ears to keep the water out. Eugene dove down, down, down. The salt stung her eyes, but she didn't want to miss a single fish. Constellations of sea stars speckled on pebble sand. She imagined that a silver fin standed strong on her back, slicing through the ocean currents. You can see that it shows her fin. To others, sharks were ugly and scary, but Eugene knew they were beautiful. As she glided through the cool water, she wished everyone could see sharks through her eyes. But the sharks were only in her mind for now. Eugene decided to learn everything she could about them. So she dove, this time into books. Whale sharks, nurse sharks, tiger sharks, lemon sharks. Eugene wanted to know about them all. She joined the Queen's Country Aquarium Society as its youngest member. Eugene's notebook filled with sharks. They swam in her daydreams along the margins of her page. You can see she has all these books about sharks. Her books are filled with sharks, and that's a nurse shark, a tiger shark, and a whale shark. She's in the library studying. At home, Eugene's mother surprised her with an aquarium of her own. A 15-gallon tank was much too small for a shark, but Eugene saved her allowance to buy guppies, clownfish, and coral red snails. You can see there's some other fish like this big one, these, and you can see there's a clownfish, some guppies, there are different types of guppies, and some coral red snails. It felt as big as an ocean in her room. Their small apartment became an aquarium, a laboratory, and a sanctuary. And you can see she has one more animal. What is it? A frog. As she grew older, many still told Eugene what to do. Forget those sharks. Be a secretary. Be a housewife. Eugene wanted to study geology, but some of her professors thought women weren't smart enough to be scientists or brave enough to explore the ocean. And they said sharks were mindless monsters. Eugene knew better. Her dream was as big as a whale shark, so Eugene dove. And you can see there's a shark there. And housewife means like a wife that stays at home and does the cooking, takes care of the kids. She plunged into every course she could. Her laboratory became her home from sunrise to sunset. She studied how fish grew, how they behaved, how they were put together inside and out. You can see she's studying, she's looking at the book about them, she's seeing how they were put together. Described all of the people who didn't believe in her. Eugene became one of the most smartest students in her field. Even after she earned her degree, many still doubted her. And you can see everyone's clapping except him. And he was actually one of her teachers. But Eugene's work had just begun. Urging to make a discovery of her own, Eugene finally dove into the open ocean. In the Red Sea, Eugene collected hundreds of fish, including 3 new species that had not been discovered before. Red Sea sand diver, and this is how they say it on the island that lives there. And Burmese Lake's pipefish, and that's how you say it there. And volcano triplepin, that's how you say it there. On a research mission exploring the Palos Islands, Eugene was diving along when she encountered her first ever wild shark. You can see there's a big shark there. She wasn't afraid. Instead, she thought it was beautiful. It actually is kind of beautiful. On Elis Masabilas, she dispelled the myth that sharks must keep moving to stay alive. When she swam through the dark caves, still and silent, full of resting sharks. And you can see there's some sharks. Eugene's daring heart grew bolder and bolder with each dive. Soon they began to call her Shark Lady, and that's Eugene right there. Eugene had proven she was smart enough to be a scientist and brave enough to explore the ocean. As her courage grew, she began to love and understand her beloved sharks more and more. But she never forgot. Many still believed sharks were mindless killers. Because of their scary reputations, humans were hunting sharks all over the world. Eugene knew sharks weren't stupid or mean. She was determined to prove them wrong. You can see there's a shark's mouth, shark fin soup, they do have that. There's some nets, some hooks, and you can see dangerous shark spotted, and it shows a picture of them killing the shark. Eugene fished through her mind and developed a brilliant experiment. Could she train a shark like a person could train a dog? Were sharks much smarter than anyone knew? They were. Eugene was the first scientist in the world to train sharks. And even learned they could remember their training for at least 2 months after. They're smarter than dogs. Sharks were not mindless killers. Sharks were beautiful. Sharks were smart. They deserved to be studied, protected, and loved. Eugene's dream was now a dream come true. And it shows some interesting facts about sharks. And here's her timeline. It's when she was born and how she passed away. Eugene injured her ankle on a diving expedition, and seen by doctors, they discovered she had lung cancer. She was treated with cyclopedias. Eugene celebrated her 92nd birthday by scuba diving with a group of divers in Jordan and Israel. Eugene Clark passed away in her home in the company of her family. And there's some author's notes. And there's a bunch of sharks here. There's some different sharks like tiger sharks, whale sharks, great hammerhead, and there's some fish too, and some clams, black gem, winter flounder, and mermaid purses. Mermaid purses are called that because sometimes they think of that, but they're actually shark eggs. And here's the author of this story, and here's the illustrator. Thank you for reading this book with me. I like reading this book because it tells that women can do anything, they're strong enough, they're smart enough, and you can't just judge someone if they're women or men. Everyone is equal. Thank you for reading with me, and see you next time. Bye!